Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate you stopping in. I'm doing a requested video. I don't know what show I was doing when somebody requested that I do a how to sell on YouTube and on Facebook. Because as we all know, with the quarantine, many things have turned. Many of our resources have depleted, have dwindled, have closed temporarily and otherwise. So we've had to find different alternatives. I also had been telling you I've been wanting to make another A-listers. I will retitle this A-listers somehow. I forgot to put it in there. So I'm a little rusty doing an A-listers, but my A-listers show, guys, is all about reselling. So welcome if you're new to the channel. I hope you enjoy a varied content because that's what I do here. I am very much a reseller, a thrifter, a jewelry aficionado. So you will always see me hauling things that I have brought from the thrift stores, garage sales, and so forth. I love picking up handbags, designer clothing, designer handbags, jewelry of all kinds, costume, native, Mexican, whatever I like, which is very little that I don't like. So I pick it up, I show you what I find. I keep a lot of it, but I sell a lot of it. And there is an art to selling, and we've talked about that. A-listers is all about selling and listing your things online, but now we're kind of in a different setting, so to speak. Many of us want to sell on YouTube. Many of us want to sell on Facebook. Many of us do. We do Facebook Marketplace, but now we've got the luxury of online selling as well, and that really does help. There are also many apps that do videos now so that you can actually present yourself on a video, present your items. So as I said, people did request this, and I'm always giving my never to be humble opinion as well. It may be taken wrong, and that's just the way it is, I guess. I don't mean to offend anyone. I will never name names here. If I happen to do an unboxing, you won't see a blast video here. You won't see any of that here. I don't think there's a place for that kind of behavior here on YouTube because we're a pretty small community of resellers, jewelry lovers, and then we all kind of morph together just as thrifters as well. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what I have done to sell online. And I have sold here on YouTube, not on my channel. Never wanted to sell on my channel directly to anybody, any of my subscribers. That's not what this channel is about. But I do resell a lot. I have been selling on eBay for many years. And like I said, in other platforms. So if you're new to the channel, take the time today to subscribe. Activate the bell as well. That'll give you a notification when I go live, as I am now, which I've been doing a lot because of time crunches. But I do like to do some recorded videos and so forth and so on. But I have sold on YouTube through other people's auctions. Only one, and that was Dwayne. And he had a channel called Mothership Products. I think he still does, but he hasn't done the auctions in a while. But I appeared on his show at least 3 or 4 times. And I was very successful on there, and many people were very successful on there. And I will just share with you what I think are the keys to selling. Now, prior to that, I've sold everywhere from flea markets. My very first job selling wares such as secondhand goods and second market things. My very first jobs, though, right out of high school, always involved selling. It was something that I gravitated towards, I think because it allowed me to have another personality. Because I'm very shy in person, as I've told you guys before. It takes a long time for me to even converse one-on-one kind of situation. I don't know why. It's just, I'm kind of just, close to the cuff type of person. Even my neighbors and friends told me, gosh, it took us like 3 years to get to know you when we were actually a part of a group, which is very true. But that's what I loved about selling. You can put on that other personality. Let's talk a little bit about that today. I will probably not cover everything. I welcome your questions in the chat and in the comments section so that I can have more fodder for future videos. I love your ideas and everything. I do have some things, some bullet points written down. Nothing like organization, right? To not forget. Especially in my case where I tend to juggle way too many balls and drop a lot of them. So let me just say hi really quick in the chat, and then we'll move on because I also don't want to, just waste your time. All right, we have Sherry, Debbie, Rose, Debbie, Claudia, how are you? I hope y'all are well. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on the way in, subscribe, and hit the bell. All right, Rose, Sherry, how are you? Thank you. I didn't even get to iron it. I put it in the shower for a little while, got the steam going on it, and then I used a blow dryer. All that trouble, I could have pulled out the iron, right? But I should have ironed it. Sherry, how are you? I'm so glad you guys are here. Deborah Barnes as well. All right, Tamara, Vanessa, how are you, my darling Vanessa? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you about your auctions online. Like I said, I've been on Dwayne's auction many times. I've watched years and years of it. And I'm watching a lot of auctions right now and buying tons of wonderful things as well. First thing I can say to prepare yourself for an auction is to have your model ready. What kind of an auction do you want to have? What is your business model for auctions? Is it going to be for lots? Are you going to be selling stacks of records, boxes of jeans? Are you a locker type of storage locker type of seller where they're just getting all their bulk and that's what they're selling? Okay, they clearly tell you, I'm not going to dust it off for you. I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to put it the way I got it in a bag and ship it as cheap as possible. And usually it's shipped. They usually start $20 ship. That means if it goes up to $200, you're still not going to pay shipping. All right, that's the first thing you have to decide. What kind of a model do you want to have? Do you also, let's say you're doing jewelry. Do you want the kind of jewelry the type of sell that you're going to say, I'm going to do a lot today. I'm going to bring you grab bags only, or I'm going to not do the grab bags, but I want to show you everything that's, let's say, in this tray. Let's say I have 20 necklaces in here. Okay, this is what I'm going to start, guys. I'm going to start selling it to you at $10. Let's get the bidding started at $10. And then you start showing the pieces. Okay, you have to decide whether you're going to be that kind of a seller, whether you're going to concentrate on all Mexican jewelry, all sterling jewelry, all Native American jewelry. Are you going to have a mix? Do you want to have costume? Do you want to have fine jewelry, even gold and diamonds? That's up to you. I have decided to do mine on Facebook for many reasons, and we'll probably cover that on another show. But right now, let's stick to YouTube and what I see and what I have done and how I think it works best. After you've decided what kind of a seller you're going to be, what is your business model, you need to get organized. You need to get yourself familiar with a computer. You need to understand how to stream. You should probably practice a few times going live. Whether you're going to be by yourself or with someone else, you should practice because people are impatient. And like I said, when I started doing some videos over at some auctions with Dwayne on Mothership Products, this was kind of an infant type of thing. Very few people were doing online auctions. So we had quite a few glitches. People didn't have the right internet. You know how I get sometimes bad internet. So make sure that you have a good internet system. Make sure you have a good computer that can handle a stream. Nowadays, especially, they're changing streams all the time. I can't even begin to tell you the glitches I've had on Facebook. And let me again preface by saying, do as I say, not as I do. Because I make those mistakes that I'm about to mention all the time. I make them all the time. So please don't feel like I'm sitting here on a superior pedestal of any kind. I was asked to do this video. I'm going to do this video because it was requested by many people to do it. Many people who have asked me for help. How do I begin selling here? What did you do? How do I do it? All right, so that's the next thing. Make sure you're prepared tech-wise. And you only get prepared by doing it. The more you do it, I was watching Paula Deen today. She said, you want to learn how to make biscuits? Make biscuits. Make biscuits every other week. You know, practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. That made a lot of sense to me because remember we were talking about biscuits, and I really do want to learn to make biscuits. All right. So you got your model. Let me highlight off the ones I've covered so I don't repeat myself. You get to know yourself, your tech. Make sure that if you're going to do a face-to-face And you're not going to do, let's say you have just a regular phone, because you can start with just a regular smartphone. You don't need a laptop. You don't need a Logitech camera. You don't need any of that. But you do need to convey your item well. So make sure that if you're going to do a face-to-face, try to have some props. These little cheap things, they even broke off right here. They were only like $3. They had a little frame thingy. They were like $3 over at Michael's, but they are absolutely essential. I mean, I could show you this necklace all day long like this, right? I could show it to you. Look at this beautiful amber, guys. Let me start it at $150. Isn't that amazing? It's amber. But look at the difference when you put it up on a prop. When you put it up on a prop and you show it. And then not only that, you will drape it on yourself if you can, if you're going to do the camera face to face, because people want to know the scale. People want to know, oh my gosh, that looks great from there. That means it's big, because everything looks huge when you hold it up close. And if you can't do it face to face, at least give us a measurement of everything. But again, get prepared with some props. These are not expensive. You can also send for these on Amazon. eBay sells used ones. Whatever you can get them. They help. The ring holders. I have some ring holders like these. These really help too. So much more than sticking it, here and there. And that looks good too, because sometimes the skin tone really brings out the gemstone. So that helps as well. I also have been using these little hands a lot. I love these, but I do these little props too. All of that stuff really helps. But before all of that, get some lighting. I have ring lights right now. I have a big studio light that my husband got me to do eBay pictures with, but I use it for my videos too. You don't have to do all that, but get every lamp in the house and put it in front of you. Don't put lighting behind you, because lighting behind you blinds everything out. No lighting behind you, no lighting above your head. Your lighting should be on you or your jewelry at all times. Okay, that's another thing. Make sure you have props. Make sure that you know your model. What kind of another type of model, not just whether you're going to do fine jewelry or costume jewelry or lots and bags and, what do you call it? Volume, big, quick volume. But what kind of pricing are you going to do? Are you the type of person that's very scared of auctions and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I paid $45 for this. I cannot take less than 40 or 42. I have to start it at 41 or just to do it by it now, 41. Okay, that's fine if that's your model. But remember to get to know your customer too. Is that the kind of customer you have? You'll get to know later what kind of customer you are. Are they bidding when you started at 45? Or are they backing out? Because you will scare bidders away when you start too high. If I want $45 for a ring and it's worth $45, I may start it at 32 or even 28, depending again on my audience, depending again how many people are still coming to my show. That's where I know where to gauge, where to start, what to bring, how high to start it. And unless I'm doing a buy it now, because you have that option too. You can easily say it's a buy it now. First one to put in ring in the chat at $45 wins it. But this is where I'm saying you have to decide what kind of seller you are. Fast flip, as I say, fast penny, long dollar. You may have to present it 10 times before somebody gives you $45 for it. Whereas if you had started it at 28 or 32, you could have had 10 people in there. They would go on a bidding war. It is a real thing. Bidding wars, bidding frenzies are real. I don't care who says what about eBay's auctions being dead. They are not dead. They are not dead. There are people out there right now sniping left and right. They love having the win. They love having the win. I think I have relayed this story before, and I'll relay it again because it is so succinct as to my point. I was at a middle school fundraiser we were having. I think it was back to school night or something. We had a silent auction. It was for a pizza party from Pizza Hut with really nice, school spirit type of plates and pencils, and all of that was going to be included in this pizza party. Well, we started it at 40, and then I went to 80, and then there was these two women that were at it. the pizza party went for $500. We could have had 5 or 10 pizza parties for that price. But that competition is a very real thing among humans. So do not discount the power of an auction, the power of frenzy bidding, bidding wars. They exist, they're real. Know what you're doing when you want to start something too high. And just because you're afraid of, that's just kind of something you have to learn to live with. It's kind of the cost of the business. If you're going to be in this business, you will double something, you will maybe even 10 times something you paid $10 for, and then maybe you'll just barely cut even on something else. That's going to happen, and you have to be prepared to know that. And you have to be prepared, we can go back a little bit to be prepared to know your customer. As you start bringing this jewelry, you'll see who buys what, who likes what, who's looking for what, and then you'll know, oh, well, they're here. I can see that so many people are here that love turquoise jewelry, that love gold or love pearls. I'll bring out my pearls. I'll bring out this. And they love that too. They love when you bring what they like. When you personalize things that way, it's important. Another thing is personality. I don't have the best personality in the world, but I sure turn it on when I am on a sales floor. I try to. I try to be pleasant. I try to get, it's very, very hard sometimes when, you're in this situation that we're in now, and everyone is on edge, and, you may have had a little argument with your kids or your grandkids, or your husband said something wrong. You have to take at least another 30 minutes, go to the other room, go for a walk, get a drink of juice or something. And this is just juice with water. I was going to put water in. I think I forgot. It's just juice and ice. Get a drink. Get yourself in the mood to be friendly and to smile at your audience, and to make jokes and little quips, and all that goes a long way. Say hello to your audience. It's very important that they feel welcome. But on that same vein, do not let your chat rule your auction, especially if you're here on YouTube. I have seen this happen over and over again, where the chat comes into play, and let's say you have a helper, let's say you have a panel type of deal, and you have a helper calling the bids or something, and you're showing the bids. It's not helpful for the person that's supposed to be calling the bids to be answering questions about, oh, did you get your x-ray back on your broken knee? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that happened. A little bit of that, of course you want everyone to know you care and whatever, but if it's going to be a conversation about that, you're going to lose customers. You're going to lose watchers, because, honey, the other day I was watching YouTube videos. I had 5 tabs open, and I was bidding on each one. But I lost interest on one because they started talking about this, or I lost interest on the other one for another reason. So you have to be fast-paced as well. Do not let the chat run your show. And that can happen in another, just a regular talk show too. And then you have to decide, what kind of video do you want to put on? This is why I don't sell here, because my videos are videos and my selling is selling. Do I want to have a chat show, or do I want to have an auction? Do I want to sell, or do I want to have a chat show? There's nothing wrong with some quips. There's nothing wrong with banter back and forth. Everybody loves that. But when you're still sitting on this beautiful wallet that I sold last night, you're still sitting on here, you shouldn't even take more than about, I would say, 6 minutes per item at the most, and that's stretching it. But let's say someone's still sitting on this wallet. We're still talking about getting $5 for it. And then I've already given advice about, what kind of car to buy. And I've already told somebody else to call somebody else about how to fix their air conditioner. And I'm still trying to get somebody to go 8 on this one. By the time that happens, I'm already on 2 more auctions. That's just my humble opinion, guys. Never to be humble opinion, rather. So that's the way I see it. Plus, keep describing the item nowadays, especially because there is such a fast-paced round here. If I tune into your auction and you've already put this down on the table and you're still saying, anybody want to give me 12? And you're fixing your hair, or you're drinking, or you're eating, or whatever. I don't know what you're selling. Show it to me. Tell me. Describe it. Is it leather? Is it orange? How big it is? Keep describing it until you sell it. Until you're on final warning, last call, $20. I want to see what's there. I don't want to have to ask you, what are you selling? What are we looking at? What's the length? What's the color? What's the brand? You know, I mean, that's just my way. There's a lot of different ways to do your sales, your auctions, and so forth. That's the way I see it. Another thing is persuasion. Persuasion is a powerful tool for selling, but deception is not needed. Exaggeration is not needed. I don't need to be told that it's worth $50,000 on eBay. Okay, so list it on eBay. Go get your 20% scraped right off the top, wherever you sell it. You're selling it right now to me. Tell me about it right now. I don't really care what it's selling for on eBay. If it's, I mean, we all know James Avery sells on eBay for this price or that price. We all have Google. I need to plug in. I am unplugged. I see how unorganized I am. I am just getting, I'm going to give you all a break to decipher that while I get my plug for my laptop. Thank you so much. I'm doing it live. Put it in the fridge for me, honey. And what is it? What is it?
It was so stressful.
Did I stress you out?
No, there was a sign on the door that said,
Sorry, guys.
don't enter unless you have a mask. And so
Oh my gosh, you didn't have your mask?
I did have it. But I'm saying that
Goodness.
there were people who didn't have masks
Oh.
who still walked in
Oh my
who hadn't been
gosh.
told, please
Okay.
leave.
Oh, good. Tell me later, because I'm live, disorganized. Like I said. Oh my goodness gracious. And I can't see with all the bright lights. Okay. Sorry about that. See, disorganization. I told you guys. Do as I say, not as I do. I wasn't even plugged in. No tech savvy here. Thank you guys for all of your input. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I mean, and people are new to this, so we're all learning. I'm learning too. I had to, oh my gosh, how many glitches have I had on Facebook because of new browsers? Now they have a new way to stream, so I had to download a new browser. I had my audience waiting. That's another no-no. That's another no-no, and I've committed that sin way too many times. If you say your auction starts at 5, start at 5. There should not be people waiting for you to start. Especially, you know, some people send the notification and they have all that. So this is where the tech, you know, issues should be ironed out. And not only what time you're going to start, but please don't come on and make me wait 20 minutes for 10 people to show up. I'm here. Show me something. Show me something. Tell me the rules. Tell me something. You can repeat it over and over again. My rules are quite simple over on Facebook. $2 incremental bids, up to 50. Then it's $5 incremental bids. After 10, it's $100 incremental bids. You must pay me through PayPal. You must email me through the Messenger app. I repeat that at least 3 times throughout my show because people are coming in. There are not the same people sitting there watching you. Maybe they are, but there's people that are what they call lurking, which I hate that term, but they're just watching and they want to know, well, I wonder what that is. What size is that ring? Is that a garnet? I can't tell. What do you think, Mabel? I think it's a ruby. No, I think it looks more like a garnet, but I don't know. They never said. And then you want to ask, but then they may not see it, you know, because they're busy talking about somebody's operation or something. I don't know. I like StreamYard. I use it here for panel only. When I have a panel show, I've used StreamYard. It works well. I can no longer use it on Facebook, which actually I had never used it on Facebook, but you used to be able to stream to Facebook. Now you can't. So it's fine. StreamYard is fine, but you don't need it. You don't need it unless you have a guest. Like the panel auctions, they have guests. That's why they use StreamYard. All right, deception is where I was at, I believe. I don't like exaggerated descriptions, okay? Not everything is an heirloom piece. Not everything is old pawn. Not everything is, you know, from the 1930s or so forth and so on. You don't have to be deceiving. You just have to be persuading. If you tell me that this piece is amazing and you tell me that this piece is an incredible color of abalone, and you can see it because I've held it up really close with nothing in the background but the piece. You can cover it like this to get a nice look at it. Because if I show you my face, it's going to, focus is going to the hair. So you have to bring it up. You have to show me. You don't have to tell me that this was made by, somebody in Thosco who knew so-and-so and worked for the stars. Do you know that? Were you actually there to know that? No. So why tell me a lie? Because I see it as a lie. And it may, even when you, like I said, when you over exaggerate things, it comes off as a lie. It's just kind of like when you're late, right? When you're late for work, all you need is one excuse. You don't have to say that you had a flat tire, you had an argument with your daughter, there was a train wreck. You don't have to do all the excuses, because then it starts looking like deception, right? So that's the same thing with the exaggerated description. Just describe it accurately. Just tell me what you do know. If you don't know, don't guess. If you don't know if it's a ruby, don't say it's a ruby. You can say, I think it might be a ruby. It has the telltales of a ruby, whatever. It's been checked by a jeweler. If you have testing things, please test them. If you don't, say you don't, and say bid accordingly, people. I have not tested this. It is marked, but it's not tested. That way, no one's unhappy, because you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. If you do know the province, of course, if you happen to know that, yes, absolutely. If you happen to know that. What I'm saying is, like, there's pieces that I have that I bought directly from trading posts. And I can honestly say, this is Navajo. I remember they told me that. That's what I know. But if I bought it secondhand at the Goodwill, and I mean, sure, you can recognize a Zuni piece and a Navajo piece that way, yes. But sometimes you can't. Or if you think that every mark from Mexico is Thosco just because it happens to have a T, that is not the case. Many pieces from Thosco are actually signed Thosco. And then many pieces that are signed Thosco does not make them heirloom, does not make them priceless. They are not priceless just because they have the word Thosco on them. Now, if they were signed by Spratling or by Listeros or Castillos, or all of these people that are actually book pieces that have been lauded in many fields of this art, that's something else. If you have a signature on that piece, but just because something happens to be Mexican silver does not make it priceless. There's what they call mass-produced. The same thing with Native American pieces. They were mass-produced as well, and you can tell that. And now they're mass-produced in many places too. I have had to return rings that I got on eBay that was actually from a Native American company and whatnot. And I didn't like it. It was the thinnest piece of silver I have ever wrapped around my finger, ever. And I didn't expect that. I was very disappointed with it. I returned it. They were very gracious to take it back. And they told me, yes, we use a smaller gauge silver and so forth and so on. It wasn't what I expected. So it's really good to ask questions. It's really good to be open for questions. But it's even better when you don't have to ask all those questions. When you give it in a description, that's important. Like I said, when you give it in a description, when you keep the item up as you're describing it, and move fast. Don't sit here and tell me, this is so, this is so nice, guys. Again, it's selling for $100 on eBay. Are you sure nobody wants to go 10 on this? I can't believe nobody wants to go 10 on this. Don't beg for the sympathy buy. It's a total turnoff to me. I don't know about anybody else. Do not beg for the sympathy buy. Give it, I would say, with the lag, there's a lag. So I would say I would not hold this up for more than a minute or two to see if I got a bid. If I didn't get a bid, I would ask for a pass. And we're on to more things. We're quick. We're on to more things, because I can't tell you how many times I bring just a jewelry box. I don't even get through half of them. Hi, Miss Autumn. I don't even get through half of them. And I have counted the amount of items I show and I've everywhere from no more than 4 hours, because Facebook cuts you off after 4 hours. But my averages on Facebook have been 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And I show no less than 40 items. I've counted them. No less than 40 items. Maybe 10 won't sell. The others will. But I want to bring you more and more. I don't want to beg for a sympathy buy. I don't, and this is not a word I made up. This is jargon of people that sell online. And that was the first time I heard it, when I heard somebody talk about it who does videos about selling online as well. You don't need to do that. If no one's interested in it, no one's interested in it. Maybe next time you bring it, someone will be interested in it. It happens a lot. Oh, freebies are another thing I want to talk about. Now, this is something I also got from my mentor that I watch religiously. And she talked about freebies. And she said that she does not do freebies for nothing. She does freebies for people who shout her out as far as tagging people for her sales. She does them on Facebook. So if you have tagged her out, she'll write her name down. She puts you in a lotto, and I mean in a little jar or whatever. And she gives out several, not just one, but several throughout the evening. Sorry about that. But the reason she doesn't like to do freebies for anyone is because that's the kind of buyer you will get. You will get a buyer that doesn't buy. It just comes for the free chaser. That's basically the kind that you will get. And that's, again, there's nothing wrong with having a community, guys. And that's actually should have been rule number one for selling on YouTube. In my opinion, I think you should have a community first. I don't think you should come on day one and say, hey, I'm selling. I think you should start to build your channel with other more interesting content. And then you can gain a community. You can gain a following of people that like you and that like what you do, what you put out, like the jewelry that you wear, whatnot. That's the way it happens in auctions too. Now, I'm not saying if you have 10 people to quit. I'm saying keep going because you're going to get more people to watch you. But every time you bring more and more people, remember that they're coming to buy. But if they're coming just to get something free, think about your freebies. I like the people that do the free shipping. That kind of ensures that you're going to give something to someone who's actually caring about your auction and willing to buy something, and it's only good for that day or whatever. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you what I have learned from people that I watch who are very successful, much more successful than I am, because first of all, I don't do it for full time. Much more successful. These people make their living selling online. They sell jewelry online, and they sell a product that is not expensive, but they do volume. So that's another thing. Your freebies. Think about your personality, your energy, your props, your persuasion, no deception. Lighting is important. Volume is important too. If you don't have and I actually was told this from the very first time I did a YouTube video, and I didn't listen, and I'm still trying to get a lapel mic. Even though I now have one of these, I would really want to get me a lapel mic because they're very important, especially when you're in a panel setting and someone is helping you. They want to know the price. Again, even if you've repeated it 10 times, there's nothing worse than dead air. They want to know where the bid's at. Are they at 10? You're looking for 12. 12 looking for 14. Okay, now we're at 14. We're going to need 16, guys. Anybody want to go 16? We're looking for 16. Because they're hopping around these days. They're going everywhere to shop. You're not the only auction. Many people are going to your auction just so they can chat in the chat, and that's fine too. Many people are going to your auction because they like you and they want to buy from you. That's fabulous too. Keep it moving. There's nothing worse than an auction that turns into a chat show. Wonderful to have chats. We love chats. I have one on Monday nights. But my auctions on Facebook, they're not for chatting. We, of course, do banter. We love each other. We make jokes and so forth. But we move quickly because my eyes are on that clock. And in 4 hours, Facebook yanks me out. And I either do it or don't do it. And I don't come 3 days a week. I come once a week. And it's probably might even be less when I start working back at school. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the way I see it, guys. I love it when people are fast-paced, when they know what they're doing, when they have the right lighting, when they have a mic in front of them, either a lapel mic. You can also use the headphones from your iPhone. If you don't have a lapel mic, those will serve. And Princess Casserole told me about that when I used to do when I was doing my jewelry unjarrings, because people always complain, Thelma, we can't hear you. Thelma, please repeat that. Thelma, what did you say? You don't even open your mouth when you speak. Why can't you talk louder? Somebody even told me you'd have, and this was like 5 years ago, you'd have a lot more subs if we could hear you. And that's so true. So finally, I, sprung out on a mic, but I think I've gotten a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera too, so I speak louder. But remember that, guys. Don't tell me the price one time. Keep telling me the price because I'm hopping. There's 10 auctions going on YouTube on Friday night. I want to be able to hop around. I want to spend money with you and her and him and her. You want me to? Then keep telling me the price. Don't make me ask you. And then I have to wait for you to see that question. Then I have to go see if the other guy sold the other thing already. Just tips, guys. Just like I said, do as I say, not as I do, because I make these mistakes every single day. I think I'm going to get off my my rant and say hello to some people for a second and see what y'all say. You started buying and selling jewelry. I want to know about buying and selling jewelry boxes. Somebody else mentioned that. And I think it was you. Did I ask you where? No, I'm not going to ask you where. I want to give you your secrets. But do you go to estate sales? Is that where you find whole jewelry boxes? I know Sandy sold a jewelry box once. I should have bid up on it. I wanted to auction on YouTube, but it says you have to have 1,000 subscribers to get that many people starting out. Oh, not at all. There's people that barely have 200 subscribers and they're auctioning all the time. No, to go live mobily, I believe, is the only time you have to have 1,000 subscribers. If anybody knows more about that, let us know. But I know that many, many people go live without that many subscribers. Did I see Donatella in here? Donatella, how are you, my friend? I'm so glad you're here. Donatella has wonderful auctions. I would say exemplary auctions. She has just taken it by storm, guys, and ran with it. Absolutely exemplary auctions. So I bought some wonderful things from her. I have done unboxings. I love the jewelry I got from T. I did a video about that, Miss Donatella. Absolutely am in love with that gold and the cameo and all that stuff. That's mine right now. Just in love with it. But yeah, she does great auctions. Lots of people do great auctions. Lots of people need improvement. I need improvement. You saw me have to plug in. Can you imagine if that would have happened on my Facebook? You know, I would, and then the trouble that I have to go to sign on to a Facebook auction, it's horrible. So that's definitely, you know, things that I do all the time, but I write them down because I have a mentor that I watch religiously. I love her. I love the way she sells. I love the verbiage she uses, her body language, everything exemplifies you need this jewelry. You don't want it, you need this jewelry. So I love that. Okay. And I learn from people, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, take it harshly. None of that. I've been selling for a long time. I know how to sell person to person. I used to, like I said, my first jobs, selling shoes, selling perfume, selling clothing. That's what I did for a living when I was in high school. And I did it quite well. Paid commission and so forth. So that was one thing there. Freebies, personality. Oh, the long tail or the fast penny, long dollar fast penny, that's your call. As always, your energy must remain high, or come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, because they'll fall asleep. And they'll fall asleep during an auction if it gets boring, or they'll switch the channel to another one. They'll go to somebody else's channel. I think, oh, keep your area clean. If you do a down one, please keep your area clean. I have seen roaches. I have seen hair. I have seen dirty towels. I want your jewelry, but if you don't even value it, why am I going to value it? So that's another thing. You know, I have these white cloths that I use for my unjarrings. I try to change them as often as I can. I know that when that thing is down, that camera, it's amplified. It's amplified. That tiny little soup stain from yesterday, because I was in a hurry, you know, doing things in my office, is still there. And everybody's going to be like, oh, yuck, I don't want to see that. That's just the way it happens. So, oh, also, many people do incremental bids that move also fast-paced. I think the $2 incremental bids is an absolute must. Jump it to $5 if you, I mean, and again, it depends on your audience. Get to know your audience. You might have people that tell you, oh, I don't want to spend that much, you know, and you love that, and you want to be, and you're fine with it, then you do your, 10-cent bid or whatever. But if you want to move it fast and you want to keep up with the Joneses, there's nothing wrong with a $2 incremental bid. If I started at $2 and somebody else is willing to pay $4, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Why do we have to go $2.25? $2.35. We'll be there all night. We'll be there all night, and somebody else will be buying from somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Don't undervalue your things. Don't overvalue your things. Don't over-exaggerate your things. If you don't know what it is, then say, I don't know what it is. If it's a piece of copper that you bought at a garage sale, but you happen to know something about it, convey that. You don't have to be humble about it. I'm not saying that, but don't over-exaggerate it. And again, please don't hammer me with, I could sell it on eBay for $200 when we all know that, or on Posh for $200. We all know that when you list it on Posh, they're going to slice 20% right off the top. Then you got to pay a PayPal fee. Then you got to pay a shipping fee. And if it's really expensive, you may even have to pay an insurance for it, right? So why tell me all of this beautiful story about Posh? If I sat here and said that about every piece of jewelry, I would never sell you anything. I would never have a sale. And I heard this the other day from a gentleman that I've bought many pieces from. And he said that clear as day. He was with a guy who was helping him. He said, oh, this one has a name on it. Are you sure you don't want to look up, this Jerry, whatever his name is? He's got it. He's like, if I looked at every piece of jewelry and did that, because he had it from a long time ago, right? I'd been collecting a while. I would never be here. I wouldn't be here to bring jewelry to this auction every Friday or every Saturday or every Sunday. I'd be too busy researching and putting it on eBay and waiting a year to sell it. I sold a pair of earrings on eBay for $125, but it took me 2 years to get $125. And the reason I was waiting is because I knew the kind of jewelry that it was. I knew it was collectible. It wasn't even signed, but I knew the design was extremely desirable. I loved them personally, and I was willing to wear them for a long, long time until I got $125. But if it's something that I want other people to, I am drowning in jewelry, guys. I love jewelry. I've been collecting it since I was, 8 years old. Honestly, since I was 8 years old, that's the first thing I ever told my mother to buy me was jewelry. So I know that I can move it quickly. I think my friend Jude says, swirl and twirl. Swirl and twirl that jewelry. There'll be more. There'll be more. And, if you want really to honestly keep telling me that I can sell it on eBay for more, then sell it on eBay. Stop bringing it to the auction and making me feel like I have to pay you more for it. Let me have fun at the auction. Let me get a deal. Let me get a steal, and let me one day make you a lot of money, because that's going to happen too. You're going to bring that $10 ring and somebody's going to pay you $100 for it. All right. I'm going to leave you at that. We'll come back later for another A-listers. I'll retitle it A-listers later. Thank you so much, Donatella, for dropping by. I do appreciate it. I'm going to get off of here because there's a lot of auctions going on right now. And I promised myself I wasn't going to spend any money, but there's just too many deals out there. We got to go buy. We got to go patronize our wonderful YouTube sellers out there. Just put in auction, live auction, and you'll get a bunch of wonderful people to go watch and patronize. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.